Pope Benedict XVI in his foreword to the YouChat wrote like this: Catholics need to know their faith now more than ever. Yes, you need to be more deeply rooted in the faith than the generation of your parents so that you can engage the challenges and temptations of this time with strength and determination. Hello and welcome to YouChat. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Alvin and this is my beautiful wife, Christina. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
All right.
I'm excited.
You're supposed to say I'm good, I'm excited, ...
Okay. I'm good, I'm excited, ...
There you go. All right, let's get into it then. The first question for today is, for what purpose are we here on earth? Whatever you're saying, I'm putting it up. So be careful, girl. I ain't editing this stuff. That's what a podcast is, apparently. No editing allowed, apparently. Okay.
Well, as kids, we were taught to know God, to love God, and to serve God.
Mm-hmm.
What does a YouCat say?
Bruh, this ain't no movie. You're speaking like it's a script. We don't have a script.
We don't have a script. We don't have a script. What does the YouCat say?
Thank you. All right. Now let me move on to what YouCat says. The YouCat speaks for what purpose are we here on earth? We are here on earth in order to know and to love God, to do good according to His will, and to go someday to heaven. So that's what our purpose is. And it says to be a human being means to come from God and to go to God.
Okay.
Our origin goes back farther than our parents.
Yeah.
Okay. So we didn't start with our parents. It's kind of explaining to us that our origin goes way back.
So basically what I said was right.
Yeah.
Okay.
To know God, to love God, to serve God. Mm-hmm. What comes to your mind when you think about that? So everything we see in the world today, and we kind of understand that there are so many questions people have about their own purpose. Why me? Okay. And we know that we are following a timeline. Why in the 21st century was I born? God is saying, or the YouCat is teaching us, that we have a purpose. We did not just born by accident, by chance, no. Because there is a purpose behind everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And God created us with a purpose. So what are your thoughts on that?
I guess I believe that everyone has a purpose and that we are created by God for a reason, like a distinct reason. A distinct reason. Yeah, everyone's created for a very distinct reason. So the example that I would give is, if somebody made a toothbrush, they specifically made the toothbrush to brush teeth. But, hear me out, you could use the toothbrush to like brush your hair, to clean dishes or like minute places. You can use the toothbrush to scrub anything, scoop anything. It can be used for like a multiple array of things. Yeah. But whoever created the toothbrush intended it to be made for brushing teeth. So I feel like that's the same thing. God created me for a particular purpose. We got to figure out what that purpose is. We got to work with God to figure out what our purpose is. But I don't think anyone was a mistake. I think everyone was created for a reason, and we have to figure that out. Like the umbrella kind of purpose is to kind of like know God, because we were lucky enough to be born into Catholic families, so we know God. But there's so many other people that don't know God because they weren't born into Catholic families or Christian families, and they don't know God. No one's told them about God. They have no idea. But
I guess we could ask the question: do we know God like that?
I would say yes. I guess, right? At least we're aware of His presence and that we're created for a reason. And, back to what I was saying. Thank you very much.
No, but can I interject here? What if purpose is aligned with the fact that the action of trying to know God, because we can never know God fully.
Of course not.
The action of trying to know God,
action
of seeking God, action of trying to love God, trying to serve, in that we find our purpose.
Maybe.
where we kind of move into that kind of understanding of, okay, if I continuously go to church, if I continuously do my personal prayer, I get closer to God, and in God is my purpose, because the Creator knows, like the toothbrush example you said. Toothbrush is created to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when they first made the toothbrush, people might have been confused what this is for.
Yeah.
And the people had to hear it from the Creator.
Yeah.
Of the toothbrush. You say, like, you just see a brush. It might not make sense to the people who saw it first.
Yeah.
So they had to kind of get close to the Creator, kind of get close to understand, why did you make this? What is this used for? Kind of see the samples and the way the Creator was using the toothbrush to kind of understand, and then they passed on that knowledge. So I would say that the action of constantly seeking and loving and serving God in our daily lives brings us closer to our purpose.
I like that.
That's what I feel like is, because then that makes sense, because then we get closer to God, and in purpose is not something that's something that's attainable on its own.
Okay.
It's kind of only with God.
Yeah.
And so the more you want to learn about yourself, the more you have to seek
learn
Him.
About God as well.
Seek Him first, love Him first, serve Him first. So that's good. So do you think, though, purpose is something that changes with time? Like we say, my purpose is to do this, or purpose is to become this.
Yeah.
Or is that really ambition and aspiring to be something? But
I disagree. I think, again, with what you're saying, like, I get it. I understand. If we seek God continuously and kind of grow in Him, we kind of grow in who we are meant to be, because I didn't make myself. God made me for a reason.
Yeah.
So, like, the more I get to know God, He's going to be like, oh, Christina, like, I made you to build up kingdoms, destroy kingdoms. Like, I've made you for a particular reason. With the question that you said before, look, story time. So I graduated high school and I wanted to be a lawyer or a psychologist, or like kind of do either or.
Excuse me, you're supposed to tell me this, because I don't know what the story is.
Oh, yes, you do. Like I've told you before, when I finished year 12, I wanted to be a lawyer or a psychologist.
Damn.
And
a lawyer?
Yeah. And my parents are like, I think nursing's good for you. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So I did nursing, hated it, absolutely hated it. I went on my first prac. And I'm pretty sure I was showering an older guy when I was just like, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. Like,
oh my goodness. That is concerning in a lot of levels.
Yeah, I know. But still, I just felt so like down in my soul. I don't know how to explain it. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. Like, I'm supposed to be a nurse. I obviously struggled through nursing school because, like I said, I hated it. But I went on to become an assistant nurse and then a registered nurse, and I haven't looked back. Like, I was like, yeah, this is why I was created. Like, I love the aspect of nursing and how much you get to take care of people that really can't repay you in any way. But I knew that was my purpose. But in 2022, we got married. And in November of 2022, I gave birth to our son. And I really think then my purpose became to be a mother. If I had to choose between being a nurse and like climbing the ladder of success in nursing and just be a stay-at-home mom, shocking, I would say I would rather be a stay-at-home mom, because I feel like that's my purpose now. So maybe purpose is ever changing. But also, I guess a mother is like a definitive purpose. I don't know.
I guess in both your examples, you kind of have
serving
mentality, which is like, you are drawn to the service of others, and so you feel more relieved and more happy, and so in that sense, you feel like, I could do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
this is what I'm supposed to do. And I guess motherhood is in of itself a very huge and important task. And so when you reached at that stage, you realized the value of
motherhood.
Motherhood.
Because even before, prior to getting married and having a baby, I always thought, yeah, I can juggle both. Like I'd have a career and then I'd also be a mum. I'd send my kids to school and like I'd have a job. But the moment my kid was born, I was like, whoa,
no. Wait a second. Wait a minute.
Like, I guess that's a topic for another time. But I do think purpose is ever changing. And I guess motherhood now I'm going to be a mother for the rest of my life.
That's true.
It's till something happens to the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that you can like
switch off and walk off. Yeah. Even if they're old and married, I'm still going to be a mother. So
I think there's a beauty in that, because when your purpose is kind of aligned with the service of others, you kind of move according to how God operates, because God is a God who gives all the time. He's always blessing. He's always serving. He's always loving. He's never doing anything for himself, but he's always giving out himself to others. So when we kind of imitate God, our Father and our Creator, we draw ourselves again to finding out what our true purpose is, what the meaning of our life is in that sense. And so then that's a very interesting way to move forward. So always check, I would say, if our purpose is driven from the constant seeking of God.
Yeah.
And also if your purpose has anything to do with serving others.
Yeah.
For the betterment of others around you, for your family, friends, the society. If you are blessing them, then you're closest to what God intended for you, because God created us in His image and likeness. And so that's what we keep in mind. Now, good question. If you ask me about my purpose, that's why I said good question. I honestly have never thought about purpose like that.
Yeah.
But actually that's a lie, because literally when I created YouTube, my tagline was purpose, journey, and eternity.
Yeah.
So
I guess you kind of knew that there was something there, but you just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was, but I know something in me was saying that there has to be a purpose in what I'm doing, and it has to be sharing a journey, and it's all about eternity. It's all about the life after
end goal.
Our end goal, which is our life after this, which is forever with God. So I think that's where I kind of started off, but then I never really, at the start of the thing when we're talking about, are we constantly seeking God?
Yeah.
Are we constantly looking for our purpose to be something that is of service to others? No. I was kind of focusing on my own things.
Yeah.
And so I never really understood or never really came close to my purpose.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think if the same as what you're saying right now. Like when I was a support worker, is when I felt the best. But I think it was never really a purpose. It's more of when I was serving somebody else,
you felt the most satisfied.
And joyful.
Yeah,
there's no stress involved. It's more of a calm,
like a giving
situation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting paid, but still, physically you feel more relaxed. But then So even now, I guess I kind of don't understand the purpose in of itself, what it is for me. But I guess I know that God, it's through the simplest things that you can get closer to God. And, I wouldn't say my purpose is to become a father,
Interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. But also I know that, God cares about all the little things.
You know what's really funny though? You were dying to be a dad.
Yeah, I was trying to have a child.
You wanted a kid so bad, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a mom. I would love to be a mom, but I was in I need to be a mom. And then the kid is born. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm a mother. And you're like, yeah, I'm a dad.
Yeah, so I guess I guess I've really understood that I'm not really like that.
Don't say that.
As like I'm not really like passionate about being a father.
So then I guess passion has nothing to do with purpose.
There you go. That's what I think. Because maybe being a father teaches me, like my son is teaching me every day.
Yeah,
like
he is.
Patience and everything else. So if my purpose is to imitate God the Father, then my son is the best avenue to serve.
Yeah.
Because I'm serving somebody who in the sense of the world is, smaller than me, weaker than me.
Yeah.
I could use him to serve me, but if I choose to be it the other way, then I'm imitating God the Father. Then I kind of understand myself more in that process of giving myself my time, energy, attention to someone who's weaker than me.
Yeah.
So in terms of purpose, I don't know where that sits, but I guess it's a constant daily self-denial and living in that condition, in that situation, where you're losing yourself for the betterment of others, that you kind of get closer and closer to who you are meant to be.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, and it's exactly like opposite of how the world depicts it, because the world will say your purpose is aligned with your talents. It's aligned with the way you have to gain success is what purpose. Your purpose is to be successful, to be rich. But your purpose is to be more like God the Father.
Yeah, okay.
That's your purpose.
Oh, that's really nice. I like that.
To know God, to love God, to serve God. What happens when you know God? You will drop everything. It's like that example in the Bible where you
nothing matters.
You find a plot of land and you find gold in it. You would sell everything else to buy that plot of land because you know what's worth, what it's worth. So most of us don't understand the worth of God, who created this entire universe and who is our Father, and what He's done for us in its depth. So then once we know that, or once we come to at least a closer understanding of that, we can never know it fully because that's how vast God is and His love. But when we come to know it, we kind of like start dropping other things, which we know are pointless.
That's beautiful.
So I think we come closer to God, continue seeking Him, and then from that, everything else is born. I'll just read it.
This is so messy. I couldn't even understand what's happening.
Yeah, something else going on there. We try to script a podcast. That's how special we are. Okay, listen.
He thinks none of it's scripted.
Podcasts are not scripted. Come on down in the section below. All right. Why did God create us?
What were we talking about this?
We're talking about a purpose on earth.
Right.
But why did God create us? Why did God create us?
What does the YouCat say?
The YouCat says, God created us out of free and unselfish love. Okay? When a man loves, his heart overflows. He would like to share his joy with others. He gets this from his Creator. Although God is a mystery, we can still think about Him in a human way and say, out of the surplus of His love, He created us. He wanted to share His endless joy with us, who are creatures of His love. That's a beautiful thought, I guess, to end off today's episode. What do you think?
Yeah, back to what I was saying. I don't think a single person was an accident. So if you think about it, God created us, one, for a purpose, that is to know God, to love God, and to serve God, and to go back to Him. And the second is, nobody is a mistake. Like, your parents might say, oh, I didn't plan you, or like you just came, like we weren't expecting you, or we didn't want you, or accidental pregnancies and whatever. But God intended you to be born. So that's kind of thought-provoking in a way that, God that created the whole entire universe, the stars, the moon, the sun, the lands, the animals, was like, oh, you know what this place is missing? It's missing an Alvin, it's missing a Christina, it's missing an Isaiah. Like, and so it makes sense. God had so much love that He was just like, I need to share this love with people. and thus we were formed.